What it is, YouTube. It's Khalil. We are here now. We are here with something that I've been trying to put off for the longest because, for one, it's very controversial, and when I talk about things like this, I have to be careful with what I say because I have very strong opinions about this current situation, Puff situation, and the allegations that he's facing, and I like to gather my thoughts before I dive in it. So this is gonna be like a little jab at what's going on because everyone's putting their 2 cents in. So I just felt like it's only right that I give my opinion on it. But we have Dr. Umar. If you don't know who Dr. Umar is, he's an activist of the black community. He does a lot. He speaks everywhere. He's building a school up. The Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy is what it's called. It's in Wilmington, Delaware. That's neither here nor there. It's opening soon, hopefully. But I watch a lot of his videos, and I get a lot of knowledge and understanding of different things, political things in the black community from this man. So I'm watching this video, not biasly though. See, the thing about me is I'm not a follower, bro. I think life is about grabbing different understandings from different people you know and different people you run into, and just, formulating your own opinions about it. I have my own opinion. I am not a follower of Dr. Umar, but I do listen to what the man got to say. So we're going to hear what he got to say about Puff. This is on the Art of Dialogue podcast. Very fire podcast, interviewer, all that good stuff, man. Hopefully y'all can get around to watching and checking out some of his content. But let's go and get into it, bro. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below of what we should react to next. This is intellectual right here. So let's go ahead and get into it, man.
Fact, Leah Combs and
how you feel about Diddy being indicted?
Sean Puffy Combs' indictment. I had made a comment on my social media earlier today because I was a little disappointed in the fact that so many of our people misinterpreted my comments about Sean Puffy Combs as being indicative of my desire to see him evade accountability for any crimes that he may have committed. So to clarify that, this is where I stand on the Sean Puffy Combs indictment. If Sean Puffy Combs is guilty on any of the 3 counts of that federal indictment, if he's guilty of sexually trafficking people against their will, if he's guilty of participating in arson and bribery and kidnapping and all of these things that they're accusing him of, if they can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that he engaged in these things, then like anyone else, if you do the crime, you should do the time. But
okay, just to give y'all a foundation of where I'm coming from with the situation, I do agree with that. Now, obviously, if he's found guilty of either of those 3 things, he's guilty. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. But my whole argument is that give the man a chance to prove his innocence first. See, me as a black man in this society that we live in, I know that the justice system is not for us. But I am not by any means defending Puff in that situation. But I know for a fact that we have a lot of innocent people who have been murdered under the justice system, who has been put away for life under the justice system, that didn't deserve that outcome. So that's where my brain comes to. I guess I'm biased in that aspect of it. Let's go ahead. Just to give y'all a foundation.
But when I look at those indictments, first of all, when I look at the racketeering count of the indictment, and of course, I'm not an attorney, but when I look at racketeer influence corrupt organization, I'm saying to myself, Sean Combs, from what I understand, because I don't know the man personally, he did not build Bad Boy on criminal money. Bad Boy was built legitimately through the legal channels of the music industry. He might have engaged in crime using Bad Boy property after he built Bad Boy. But did he use criminal funding in crime to create Bad Boy? I don't think he did. Now, maybe RICO extends to you simply engaging in crime on company time.
Hey, boy, that RICO charge is insane. So, from my understanding of what a RICO charge is, y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, which I probably will be. So, I'll probably have some misconceptions here. But a RICO charge is an embodiment of different illegal activities that happen, right? So that could be sexual trafficking, that could be freaking lawless driving, arson, I don't know. That's what a whole RICO case is, right? They're just accumulating every different thing, all the illegal things that happen within the situation to present a full case, which is under the umbrella of RICO charges. That's what I'm assuming it is. If it's not, let me know in the comment section.
Now, if they're saying he sexually trafficked women on company time and that constitutes RICO, then he might be guilty. But everybody who knows Puff knows that he came into the music industry the right way. He hustled the right way, and he built his empire the right way. It appears that all the freak-offs in the alleged sexual trafficking, the alleged interstate prosecution, that may have come after the fact. So the question becomes, can he still be convicted of RICO charge if he simply engaged in sexual activities that did not directly have to do with the business, but he did it on company time?
Okay, so I guess what Dr. Umar is doing here is separating Puff from his company, from his business side success. Because when we really get into the nitty gritty of it, your company is separate from your personal for a reason. You're completely two different entities. That's why you fill out an LLC, you fill out an S corp just to separate yourself from that liability. So if you get sued as a company, they can't come from your personal assets. If you get sued as an individual, they can't come from your business assets, unless I guess in the RICO case, then everything's on the line. Everything can be tampered with. Everything can be touched, as the youngins would say. But I don't know what this has to do with the case, so I'm going to try to fast forward.
Did it in company property.
Let me see if I can get to the juicy stuff.
He brings this. I believe it is the British-based liquor company that Puffy was doing business with. They're one of the biggest liquor companies in the world. They market and sell some of the most popular brands of liquor, including Ciroc. And Diddy had an agreement with them where they would help him market his De Leon tequila brand. And Diddy took issue with Diego because they had described the De Leon tequila liquor, Puffy's brand, they described it to their customer base as if it was an inner city, urban, quote unquote, ghetto, hip hop type of liquor.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So I'm assuming, like Dr. Umar is saying here, with Puff, he sued Diego, which is the name of that huge company brand that distributes Puff's liquor, and they were selling it as if it was a ghetto liquor. Now, Puff is obviously a black person, so that's nothing new. We always get put in that category of ghetto. That category ghetto was literally made to categorize black people. So now, they had a huge lawsuit, which Puff, I believe, he either was going through it or he had already won the case. They settled outside of court. And I think that was earlier in the year. Let me watch more of it, but I think that's one of the foundations of this whole Puff situation.
And Puffy took issue with that because he said, I'm a global icon. I'm a hip hop mogul. Don't limit my product just to black people. And by doing that, you're dissuading white people and non-blacks from buying my liquor. You're cutting my sales low, and I think you're doing it on purpose because you don't want De Leon tequila to outsell all your other European controlled brands.
Damn, boy.
So Puffy accused Diego of racial discrimination in advertising and marketing. Diego got upset with Puff, British-based company. They said, you done already made $1 billion off of us. How dare you sue us and try to make a few more billion off of us? So they tried to get the case thrown out.
Okay, that's where the problem is right there. And it's sad because when you're a business owner, you take pride in this product that you sell. I mean, when I was selling shoes, for a long. I would resell used shoes. If any of y'all are familiar with the used shoes market, you know that you take pride in the shit that you buy. Even if it's a used pair of shoes, it's the inventory. You worked hard for that stuff. So for someone to come along, someone that was supposed to be of high stature, like Diego was, for someone to slander your company by ghettoifying it or whatever you want to call it, marketing it only to black people, it destroys sales, like Dr. Umar said. Now, I can understand why that would concern Puff, because, bro, you're cutting the sales, dog. This is how I feed my family. This is my legacy.
But the judge allowed the case to proceed because Diego claimed that there was a clause in their contract with Puff that did not allow him to ever take them to court. Any grievances, according to the contract, Diego alleges needed to be solved outside of court. But the judge sided with Puff and allowed the lawsuit to go forward. So Diego is losing black money because of this racial discrimination piece. Other companies don't want to do business with them because they don't want to be branded as anti-black, even if they are, because everybody knows we disproportionately spend more money on liquor than any other group. So
before you buy that bottle this weekend, think about that statistic he just said. Before you buy that bottle of that Pat Ron or that Ciroc, you buy the Pat Ron, tequila, anything you buy, just make sure we the one who spend the most money on alcohol. So before you complain about, oh, I want to start a business but I don't have enough money, think about it. Think about them bottles you spend every year. You know what I'm saying? Think about the money accumulated, what you can do with that bread. I'm guilty of it sometimes too. I buy a drink every time, you know what I'm saying, hanging out with the homies, but you gotta be conscious of it. Now, I guarantee when y'all go buy that bottle, y'all gonna think of young Khalil, like, yo, that man, he was speaking the truth. If I save up this bread, think about $35 every now and then. So if you buy a bottle a week, so in a month, there's how many weeks? There's 4 weeks in a month. 35 times 4 is 140, roughly 140. If you spend 140 a month and invest that into a company, bro, you gonna be golden. Come on, man. It's simple math, bro. Come on, let's get it.
So Diego is losing money. Then on top of that, Puff then already made $1 billion off of him, and now Puff is suing him for a few more billion. So what do? They decide to settle out of court. Now check this out. Diego and Puff settled out of court in January 2024. Puffy's homes are raided in March. There's no way you're going to convince me that a company that powerful, Diego operates in 180 of 194 countries in the world.
Damn.
They operate in 180 out of 194 countries in the world.
Bro, 180 out of 100. There's only 14 companies, 14 countries that Diego isn't operating out of. You know how powerful the individual that owns Diego, the individuals that are in the hierarchy of the management of Diego, how powerful they are, bro? I never even thought about this. So Umar saying, like, look, Puff, he took him to court, he won, and now this is their get back on Puff. Now, the shit that happened with Cassie, let's just address that right now. That was fucked up. I think any man that calls himself a man that puts his hands on any woman, I don't give a what she did, point blank period, but you're lame as hell. That should be off the board. And I was taught that as a child. So when I saw the stuff with Cassie, I was automatically put in the mindset of, yo, what's going on here, Puff? Come on, bro. Why you gonna do this to her? Like, if that was my daughter, I might have to come slide on you. Pause. Damn, that sound crazy. I take that. I might have to, you know what I'm saying? But after the fact, 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Like, where's all this other thing? Who let the floodgate? Who pulled the gate to the floods? You know what I'm saying? Who pulled that jump? Now everything's going downhill. It could possibly be Diego. Who knows? But I see where Umar's coming from, and I'm making connections, bro. When you go into a situation like this, when you go into a situation of the media is already on the other side of Puff, they're pushing against him. You're put there. It's a groupthink type of situation. But now I have my own understanding of Puff and his situation. So I'm more open to different ideas of why this happens. Remember, if we go back to Bill Cosby's situation, a lot of the cases and a lot of the accusations that he was hit with were from the 80s, 90s, years and years and years ago. But that was also around the time he tried to purchase NBC. NBC is a huge company. They wanted Bill Cosby ass gone when he showed that money for NBC. But that's another day for another time, bro. We're going to get into that a little bit later.
You are not going to convince me that 1 + 1 does not equal 2. There is no way They were forced to settle with Puffy in January, and less than 2 months later, his homes are raided. And I'm gonna tell you how I believe Puffy gave them the ammunition to go after him, Art. When Cassie made her accusations against Puff, he settled in about 24 hours.
Damn.
And
what?
they settled in November of 2023. Mind you, he's already in court with Diego since the spring of 2023. Watch this timeline. He sues Diego in the spring. Cassie comes out in the fall. He settles with Cassie in 24 hours. Diego is watching this.
Bro, we had court cases overlap. It's like Puff is suing Diego, but Cassie's suing Puff. And Diego is just that prestigious in business and power that they say, look at this, they take a step back for a second and say, hey, if he just paid Cassie this money in 24 hours, right? What can we do to exploit this man even more? I'm just thinking from Dr. Umar's perspective. I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying this is wrong. I'm not saying Puff is guilty. I'm not saying he is not guilty. But I'm in his mind right now. I'm trying to understand his concept. But this theory right here, I mean, this shit sounds convincing, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. Because at the end of the day, we cannot ignore the facts. We cannot ignore the facts. We know that these huge companies that possess this type of power are in those positions, and they're given different perks for being in those positions. And one of those perks is money, power. This is scary, bro. It's scary as hell, bro.
So when Diego decides to settle with Puff outside of court, they did this knowing full well we about to go after you and destroy you. You are messing with the Illuminati. You have no idea who you effing with, Sean Combs. And when Puff was so quick to settle with Cassie, that showed the whole world he was vulnerable. That showed the whole world he had skeletons in his closet. And do you know what I think Diego did after they settled with Puff? I bet you after they settled with Puff, they probably never even made it to the airplane. They picked up the phone and they called King Charles III. And
who the hell is King Charles III? I know he's not talking about the historic. I guess he's talking about the top dog, the one that looks down on everyone else, the top of the top, the person on top of Diego, the person that's damn near more powerful than the president of the United States. That's who we talking about. The person who makes shit shake, like the person that when you call him, like, yo, bro, I need this handle. As soon as you say handle, this shit gonna get handled. That type of dude. He has that much power. Jeez. Man, it's hard, bro. When you're that successful, and you see, when you're that successful, right, and people catch wind of this, and they dislike it, and you're impeding on their business or their company or their flow of life, their business structure, people get reckless, dog. People get reckless. It's actually sickening. We're seeing it right now, bro.
They said, dear monarch, we need you to dial in a favor for us to President Joe Biden.
Oh.
Because this Sean Puffy Combs, this little out of New York City, he think he can go to war with the big boys and not pay the consequences.
Dang.
Sean Puffy Combs, that hip-hop king out of New York, he think he can tell white people what to do. He think he's going to rob us for a couple $2 billion and get away with it. It's not going down. Dear King, please make that call on behalf of your citizens.
Just real quick, I wonder how much money they were going to settle for outside of court. Well, not outside of court, but that Puff and that Diego situation. I feel like Puff was going to probably come up on $1 billion, like crazy money. Because if you think about it, really think about it. Now that Puff is going through what he's going through, that case with Diego is probably going to get put on the back burner, not even executed anymore. They probably threw that shit in the trash. As soon as they saw these allegations, bro, facing, I think they had like 120 victims or some shit, like some crazy number. Once Diego put that shit in motion, allegedly put that shit in motion, their case probably immediately vanished. So it would make sense as to why they would do that. But I don't know, man. Everything's alleged, dog. This is what's annoying.
That's what I believe happened. King Charles picked up the phone. He called Joe Biden or any number of U.S. citizens, any number of U.S. prosecutors. In less than 2 months after Puffy settled with Diego, his homes were raided. Now, here's the other thing, Art. The reason they did not arrest Puffy until recently, because they could have arrested him then, is they wanted to wait and save this for a time they needed to distract the black public away from something that they didn't need us getting involved in. The reason he got arrested now is because we're 6 weeks away from the presidential election, and black America was tearing Kamala Harris's up looking for presidential accountability. They were.
Hey, real quick, I don't want to get into politics, but are you voting this election term, bro? Let me know if you're voting and tell me why you're voting. You don't have to tell me who you're voting for because I don't give a. You don't have to tell me your political party. I don't want to know any of that. Just let me know why you're voting in the comment section. And if y'all think that this Puff case is just a distraction from Kamala Harris being exposed for whatever Dr. Umar believes she needs to be exposed for. I don't know what he's talking about, but
all over Kamala Harris. She couldn't answer no questions. She didn't want to do no interviews. And so the power structure said, let's get him right now. We need something we can throw at black America. We know they're emotional. We know they care more about hip hop than anything else in their community. Okay, what can we throw black America to get them off of Kamala Harris's back? Let's throw them Puff. And if you notice, Art, ever since Kamala decided to seek the presidential nomination when Joe Biden stepped down, every conversation in black Twitter, black Facebook, black Instagram, black TikTok, black YouTube, everything has been about what? The presidential election. Trump, Kamala.
It's funny because I do agree with that. Everything that I was getting on my timeline was about Kamala Harris not being black or Donald Trump doing this, Donald Trump doing that, Kamala doing this, Kamala doing that. But now, which forced me to make a reaction video on this situation, now it's Puff everywhere, dog. I don't even, well, okay, mind you, on YouTube, you get those, who are you voting for? Oh, he's doing this. Oh, she's doing that for the community. So you should vote for this person. You should vote for that person. I get those ads every now and then. But now on my Explorer feed, bro, my bad. I'm actually contributing to it. But all of the ads, thumbnails, any video that's getting fed or that shows up on my timeline, bro, is about the Puff situation. It is, and I could probably pull my phone. Oh, it's too far. But I was about to say I could probably pull up my phone right now and show y'all that my timeline is literally Puff dude does this, Puff does this, Justin Bieber's going through this, Jay-Z's doing this, Beyonce done did this. Everything, all of our attention has been swiftly placed on Puff situation as if it was intentional. Do y'all feel like that as well? I don't know, man. It's sickening, bro. Media in general is just it's shallow as hell. It's very manipulative. What do we do, man?
Thing has been about what? The presidential election. Trump, Kamala, Trump. That's all we've been talking about until they arrested Puff. Now go on black Twitter. Now go on black Instagram. Now go on black YouTube. Nobody's talking about Kamala too much no more. Everybody's worried about Puff. That's exactly what they wanted to do. Distract black America away from the presidential election by throwing them the Puffy lynching so we can get Kamala to the finish line. And guess what? Damn. The judges that refused to give Puffy bail, from my understanding, they're both Democrats. And you know what's so sad about that?
Yo, what's sad is that Puff is a huge advocate for the Democratic Party. Like, Puff is a known Democrat, I thought. So, is that true though? Are the judges that are involved with this Puff case, are they Democrats? Let me know in the comment section. I really don't know. I'm not fact checking right now. I'm just watching as y'all are. But if you could be so polite, just pause the video for a second. Let me know in the comments right now what's going on with that. But let's go.
Puffy is a very big Democratic Party contributor. He's a very big Democratic Party supporter. And so the very party that Puff been giving millions to and millions of dollars worth of publicity and advertising is the very party that shut him down. This was a favor that was called in by the British people to the American government. He don't know his place no more. Sit his ass down. And keep on top of that, Art. Puffy started a black political party called, what was it called? Our Black Party, I think it was, in 2020, after he endorsed Joe Biden. Sean Puffy Combs said out of his own mouth that both political parties keep taking us for granted. They're not offering us anything for our vote. And I think another reason why he was raided when he was raided, Art, was to keep his damn mouth shut so he did not offer his opinion on this presidential election.
All right, so just to step away from the politics for a little bit, why do you think they invaded Puff's cribs like they did? I was looking at pictures online. I think a news outlet, some type of source was, providing pictures. They were actually on his property. Well, police officers, they had his sons in handcuffs. I think they had his daughters. Some of the people who lived there, Stevie J. Everyone was in handcuffs. And I'm thinking to myself, for the FBI to raid your house, they obviously know that something is there. They don't do that for no reason, bro. They have no reason to just run through your crib. They have to have some type of probable cause. So what that leads me to think is that there's probably, I know this is not any new knowledge. This is very general shit I'm about to say, but I feel like somebody that's either a super successful politician or businessman may have ended up on one of those tapes, one of those elected tapes. That's all I'm saying, bro. How do you send the SWAT or the FBI, whoever the hell that was, raiding this man's crib? How do you send them without knowing something is going on in that crib, bro? That's what got me thinking. And I'm not a theorist, bro. I really hate theories. I hate going down this road, but it's just very interesting to me. And when I get interested in something, when something intrigues me, when something catches my eye, I really like to deep dive into it. Why do y'all think they raided this man's crib? What are they looking for? Let me know in the comment section, bro.
This whole thing was a takedown of the global white power structure with Diego British-based company at the top, and it was also necessary in order to get Black America off of Kamala Harris's back. Now, let me say this to you, Art. People say Dr. Umar has been defending Puff. If Sean Puffy Combs is guilty of sex trafficking, he should go to jail. If Sean Puffy Combs is guilty of
my bad, y'all. Just a pet peeve I want to throw out there. I hate that shit, bro. Oh my God. I don't understand why people do that. It blows my mind. When you have a difference of opinion with a group of people, you're automatically wrong. It happens every time. It's called groupthink, right? So think about it from this perspective. If someone in my comment section were to be like, oh, let's see, oh, I don't like your hoodie. And then 2 people say that shit. 3 people say it. That 4th person that's going to read those comments, even though they rocking with my hoodie for real, they don't want to seem like the anomaly if they comment, I really like the Lakers. They fire. I rock with the Lakers. But just to fit in with the crowd, just to relieve themselves from the burden of being outside of the crowd, they say, oh, your hoodie whack as hell too. Knowing damn well they didn't really mean that. It's a group thing. That's why we see so much of the same thing on social media. It's one narrative that gets pushed the most, and that's the truth. In every scenario, though. I have yet to see, like, for example, with Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion. Tory Lanez was guilty before anything came out. Before the story arose, before the story was developed, he was guilty. Now, I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm not saying he wasn't guilty. I'm not saying F Meg. I still rock with Meg. I still rock with Tory Lanez. But what I'm saying is that media takes a narrative, they choose a side, and they push that shit throughout the algorithm. So now you're just feeding into people who are too damn lazy to do their own research about the situation and develop their own opinions about it. We see it happen all the time, but people are blind to it because they're too damn ignorant to do their own research, bro. Crazy. I never understood it.
Engaging in anything illegal. I'm slow, Art, because I'm saying that the prostitution piece, if somebody wants to get paid for sex, although I don't agree with it, I don't agree he should go to jail for that if it was consensual.
Yeah.
So I'm hesitating on the prostitution charge because if they did this of their own free will in exchange for commerce, even though prostitution is illegal in every state except Nevada, I can't see somebody going down for prostitution when it was a consensual arrangement. The RICO, if he kidnapped people, if he burned people's houses and things down unjustifiably, I could potentially see that as well.
That is crazy. They said it's not funny, but I think Jaguar Wright may have said that Puff blew up Kid Cudi's whip because he was messing with Cassie or something. I don't know, y'all. My bad. I'm damn near like an old head when it comes to this information, man. I only understand what I see on the internet. So everything that I say is alleged. And I know I just had that rant about how people see one narrative and take it and run it, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm a hypocrite, but he say, she say, foolishness shenanigans, dog. Is that true? Did he really do that? Did he really blow up somebody's crib? I guess, or car, or Kid Cudi's car? We would never know, obviously. But have y'all heard the same thing, or am I just making shit up?
But my thing is this. You have black people saying that even if he's innocent of the federal charges, he should go to jail anyway for stomping out Cassie. He should go to jail anyway for taking advantage of people. He should go to jail anyway because we think he has something to do with Big. We think he has something to do with Pac. We think he has something to do with a lot of bad things that went on in the music industry. Here's what I say to that. If Sean Puffy Combs is guilty of the murder of Tupac Shakur or Christopher Wallace directly or indirectly, he should go to jail. But only if it has been proven, Art, in a court of law beyond a shadow of a doubt that he was involved.
That's true, bro. That's so true, man. Yeah, my God, that's crazy. If he gets found guilty of murdering Pac and Biggie, dog, he's gonna go from like a hip hop mogul, which he already has, decreased in rank so much, but he's gonna go from a hip hop mogul, and I'd say he's more of like a civilian, under a civilian rank, status rank, social rank at this point. But if they figure that out, bruh's not gonna make it out of prison. They gonna RIP him and in prison. I hate to say it, but if they figure that out, if they prove him to be guilty of those two crimes, it's over with, dog. There's no way you escape that shit.
What I cannot support is black people telling the racist white American criminal justice system that you can lock up one of our own, even if they are innocent, even if you have not proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they committed the crime. You can still engage in corruption and lock up a black person because we hold them accountable for other crimes that have either not been proven or have thoroughly disgusted us. In other words, Cassie being stomped out by Puff was wrong. It was absolutely wrong. No man should ever put their hands on a woman, but he is not being charged with that. Domestic violence is not the charge. So when I hear black people say he should go to jail even if they can't prove the charges because he did something over here, I cannot co-sign that. Why?
I feel the same, bro. And I feel super strongly about what he did to Cassie, bro. Because that shit's sad, man. What he did to Cassie was crazy. It was humiliating for him. Well, it was humiliating for her. If you think about it, what she had to go through emotionally, mentally, you can only feel sorry for her. You know what I'm saying? She got paid $30 million. Yeah, that's true, but I could understand why people want to see him go to jail for that as well. But we have to look at the facts here. We have to set the emotions aside for a little bit. He did pay $30 million to Cassie for this whole case to be, balled up and thrown in the trash. But it's hard, bro. It's super hard, man. But I understand why people want him in jail. I do. I'll say that, yeah. Understand.
Because the history of the American criminal justice system, Art, is a history of black men being convicted in the court of public opinion by white people without sufficient evidence. Look at all the black men who've been lynched, hung. Look at the brother today, Art. We just had a black man in Missouri. Marcellus Williams was executed 1 hour ago. 1 hour ago tonight. He was innocent. No evidence connects him to the crime, Art. No evidence. There's no physical evidence that proves Marcellus Williams broke into that white woman's home, stabbed her 43 times,
Damn.
left the knife in her neck, and then escaped.
Ooh, I don't know why I just laughed. That's obviously not funny. But that Marcellus situation, bro, I was watching a video on it, and they were basically saying all the evidence that they found at the crime scene was tampered with by the judge and some other person. Meaning that when they went to go test the items or the murder weapon that was used to murder this young lady, the weapon that was used to murder this young lady, they found DNA of the judge on it. Which means that they were handling it in a way that would destroy the original handprints on the knife. They didn't handle it with care. They didn't care about it. And the man still, he was still executed. He still got the damn death sentence, bro. You can't listen to that and still think of the judicial system as something other than corrupt. If you do, then you might be the damn problem, bro. Come on, man.
He was nowhere near the crime at the time it took place, from what I understand. Even the prosecuting attorney, Art, the DA, says he's now convinced that Marcellus Williams is innocent.
Wow.
He was fighting for him to get exonerated. And guess what the governor of Missouri said yesterday? Guess what the Supreme Court of Missouri said yesterday? We don't care. This is the prosecutor, Art. The prosecutor who convicted him said, I believe he's innocent.
What? Oh my, what? I didn't know that. What? Nah, bro. I gotta stand up, dog. That's scary as hell, man. The person who convicted him said, yo, we should not go through with this. And they still off them, bro. We gotta take a moment of silence for that, bro. Marcellus, bro, R.I.P., man. I did not know that. That changes it doesn't change much because the whole situation by itself is effed up, but goodness, the person who convicted him said, yo, look, nah. Nah. And they still went through with it? What's up with that? Why isn't this talked about? We'll leave it there.
Governor in the Supreme Court of Missouri said, we don't care what you think. He's going to die tomorrow, whether you like it or not. Check it out, Art.
Damn.
When they put the jury together for this black man, and I'm bringing this right back to Puff. When they put the jury together for this black man, there were 7 black jurors. 7 of them.
Hey, real quick, that Malcolm X fit is crazy. I need that low key though. With the hat too, I know my hair might be a little too big. I might have to get braids or something, but dog, that shit cold. I'm rocking with that. Let me know in the comment section if you putting that on, bro.
The prosecution dismissed 6. They ended up with 1 black on the jury. Everybody else was white, Art. This black man was convicted. His life was sentenced to death by an all-white jury with 1 black person who's probably too scared to speak out against what the rest of the jury wanted to do.
Now, all white jury, well, 1 black person. So let's say there's 10 people on the jury. 10% of the jury is white, black. 90% is white. Is that not crazy? That goes back to the groupthink thing. What I was saying, that Umar was saying, like maybe because of the general consensus of the jury, that the black person may have felt intimidated about, saying, you know what, this evidence is insufficient to put this man to rest like this. Maybe it's the group thing. Maybe they were afraid, bro. Just putting that out there, just giving y'all kind of some context about that concept that I brought up earlier.
It's worse than that. I even read that the family of the victim, and of course our condolences go out to that woman, whether she Caucasian or not. Nobody deserves to die like that, especially not a woman.
Absolutely. I just want to say that as well. Bro, the way she died was cruel. No one deserves that type of... Come on, man. 41 times. A woman, a lady at that. 41 times, then she was stabbed in the neck. It's beyond disrespectful. It's disgusting, honestly. But to me, it's almost just as disgusting for him to get convicted of that. Not only convicted of it, but sentenced to death and being innocent of that crime is almost as bad as the crime. It is as bad as the crime. What the fuck am I even talking about? It may be a little bit worse than her being murdered, bruh. Because you putting I'm not going to say it's worse because two innocent people were murdered for no reason, but what are we doing here, man?
But I read that her family, Art, also is convinced of his innocence and that her family didn't want him to die. So the victim's family didn't want him to die, at least some of the members. The prosecutor don't want him to die. And then the knife, the weapon itself, Art, could not properly be tested for his DNA because the police and the prosecution who handled the weapon after the murder accidentally tainted the weapon. So they couldn't even use the knife to exonerate this black man. And it's a damn shame. He just died an hour ago. So when you hear me say, I don't want to see Puffy Combs, Dr. Umar, my brother Art, I don't want to see nobody go to jail for something they didn't do, is rooted in the criminal injustices that we as black people have been suffering from in this country for 4 sentences. I have no special loyalty to Sean Puffy Combs. I don't know him. He's never donated to my school. We never talked on the phone. It ain't got nothing personal. Don't tell white people that you don't care about justice for black people.
All right, I think I'm going to end it here because we already have 42 minutes. But, yeah, I think my final thoughts are this. So I want to start them off by saying that if I'm not defending Puff in any way other than... This is interesting. So for Cassie example, for that specific situation, I acknowledge that as to be the actions of a monster and that the things that he did to that girl should have never happened. And anyone that goes through that situation, I feel sorry for. But to be publicly humiliated like that, they put out footage of her. Who released that tape anyway? That don't mean it makes no difference to answer that question, but for her to have to go through that, she deserved $30 million. She deserves more. She deserves more punitive money, bro. But what I'm saying about this Puff case is that we don't know the facts. We don't know the details. The only things that we see on the media are the things that they want us to see, which is the 1,000 bottles of baby oil, however the hell he ordered, I don't know. But that's being pushed. This Justin Bieber narrative that Justin Bieber was groomed by Puff, that he has 140 victims lined up. They sent out a hotline for victims to call in if they are victims. And it's just a lot, man. And for me, I'm past that stage in my life where I'm gullible to things that are going on social media, bro. I'm 25 years old. I've been around. I grew up in the era of the internet. So I have a lot of experience with the information that can be found on the internet. YouTube can falsify information. People could post videos on YouTube literally saying completely false information, and the video could stay up and get 1.5 million views. We don't know what it could get. But I'm saying that to say that everything you see on the internet is not the truth. You have to do your own research, develop your own opinions. Don't fall victim to groupthink. Because if you fall a victim to that, you look just as ignorant as the next man, bro. Develop your own opinions. It's okay to have a difference of opinions with somebody. It's okay to go against the grain sometimes. It's okay to go against the grain all the time, bro. Who gives a fuck? Have your own opinion is all I'm gonna say to the young folks out there. Even the OGs that fail to develop their own opinion. I encourage you to do so, man. But look, that's the end of my reaction. I was gonna watch the full video. I know we only got 10 minutes, or 9 minutes and some change left, 8 minutes and some change. But I don't want to continue to do that because I'm trying to get this video posted and it's hella late. But if you enjoyed this reaction, for one, let me know your thoughts on the Puff situation. Is he guilty? Do you feel like he's guilty? Is he not guilty? Do you feel like he's not guilty? Do you feel like everyone who's come forward talking about Puff and what he's done to them, are they correct or are they lying? Let me know in the comment section, bro. I'm gonna be reading. I wanna open the floor up to y'all. Let me know your thoughts and all that shit on that, bro. And make sure to let yourself know, by the way, y'all. Peace. Oh yeah, like the video, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. Peace and chicken grease. Moo.